Hey there! How's your practice on multi-digit multiplication and long division coming? Do you feel more confident in solving big number problems? It can be pretty exhausting when dealing with big numbers. But don't worry, today's lesson will have less calculation and a lot more fun math facts. To be specific, we'll learn divisibility rules. You might be asking yourself, what are divisibility rules? They are rules that help you know if a number can be divided by another number with zero remainder. In other words, these are ways to figure out if a number is divisible by another number, without making us go through a whole division process. Divisibility rules are quite handy in daily life situations. For example, if you're ordering chicken nuggets for 5 people, you'll know to buy 10 instead of 12. Speaking of nuggets, I should get myself some later. Anyway, back to the topic. We'll learn the divisibility rules for numbers from 1 to 10. It's gonna be a long list. To make this more rewarding, why don't we spice things up? Instead of going through the divisibility rules one by one, from 1 to 10, we can learn this from easiest to remember and work our way to the hardest. With every level of the divisibility rules you conquer, you'll receive an achievement star. Oh, so sparkly. Look at them. And they'll be all yours once you finish this lesson. Let's start with the easiest divisibility rule for number 1, which is no rules at all. Every number is divisible by 1. When you divide a number by 1, the quotient of that number is always itself. It doesn't matter how small or big the dividend is. For example, 4 divided by 1 equals 4. Or 1 million divided by 1 will still result in the same 1 million. Another easy divisibility rule to remember is when dividing by 10. If a number ends with a 0, it's divisible by 10. For example, 20, 100, 15,000, and so on. All of these numbers are divisible by 10. Whoa, what are you doing here, 56? You don't have a 0 at the end, so you're not divisible by 10. Shoo! Get out of here! Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? As promised, here's your first achievement star. Now let's get moving to the next divisibility rule so you can be sparkling like the night sky. Our next number is 2. To be divisible by 2, a number must be even. In other words, if a number has the digit 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 at the end, that number can be divided by 2 and leave no remainder. Numbers that end with an odd digit like 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are not divisible by 2. If you try to divide it, the result will have a remainder of 1. Here, let's try to spot the numbers that are divisible by 2 among these. Have you figured it out? If you chose 156 and 1,198, you're correct. These numbers have even digits at the end. It's not 83 because the digit 3 is an odd number. Speaking of the last digit of a number, if a number ends with 0 or 5, that number is divisible by 5. You can even predict the quotient when dividing that number by 5 as well. If it ends with a 0, the quotient will be an even number. And if it ends with a 5, it will always result in an odd number. This means numbers that end in any other digit besides 0 or 5 won't be divisible by 5. Quick, can you spot the numbers that follow 5's divisibility rules? Congratulations if your choices are 75, 230, and 1015 because their last digits are 0 and 5. 551 ends with 1, so it's not divisible by 5. With 2 divisibility rules down, you've earned another achievement star. Let's see what's up next. The divisibility rules of 3. This one is super fun. If the sum of every digit in a number results in 3, 6, or 9, that number is divisible by 3. Let's test this rule out. Do you think 2,514 is divisible by 3? Let's go ahead and add these digits together. 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 4 equals 12. 12 is not a one-digit number yet, so we continue to add the digits. 1 plus 2 equals 3. After adding all the digits and ending up with a result of 3, we can confidently say that 2,514 is divisible by 3. How about another number? 5,173. Let's pause here so you can figure it out yourself. All right, 5 plus 1 plus 7 plus 3 equals 14. Then 1 plus 4 equals 5. Sadly, it's not 3, 6, or 9, so 5,173 is not divisible by 3. I'm so sorry, 5,173. The divisibility rules for 9 is quite similar to that of 3. If the sum of every digit is a number that results in 9, that number is divisible by 9. Can you use this rule to find out which number is divisible by 9? Pause the video for a second if you need some time to calculate. I'll be waiting right here. You back? Let's start with 1,458. 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 equals 18. It's a two-digit number, so we need to keep adding digits until we have a one-digit number. 8 plus 1 equals 9. Check this out! The result is 9. That means 1,458 is divisible by 9. What about 4,026? 4 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 12. Then we keep adding the new digits. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Based on this result, 4,026 is divisible by 3, but sadly, it doesn't meet the divisibility rules for 9. Also, do you know what time it is? It's Achievement Star time. Congrats, you got your third star. Way to go, math champions. All right, the next number seems to be a challenging one, but it is unbelievably easy. Take a look at 6 and think about how 6 is divisible by both 2 and 3. So we just need to combine the rule of 2 and 3. Since an even number is divisible by 2, and the rule of 3 requires the sum of all digits in a number to equal 3, 6, or 9, that means to follow the divisibility rules of 6, we need an even number with the sum of all of its digits equaling 3, 6, or 9. Why don't you try this new rule out yourself and select the number which is divisible by 6? Pause the video here and take your time figuring this out, and I'm going to take my time trying to track down some chicken nuggets. Right off the bat, we can see that 723 is not what we're looking for. Because its last digit is 3, an odd number, it doesn't meet our conditions. Both 1,024 and 864 end with an even number, and that means they're divisible by 2. Now we need to check the sum of each number's digits to know if they meet the condition of 3's divisibility rules. First, 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 7. That means 1,024 is not divisible by 3. Let's check the other one. 8 plus 6 plus 1 equals 18. Then 1 plus 8 equals 9. Nice! We found a number that's divisible by both 2 and 3. That means it's divisible by 6. Well done! We've come so far with these divisibility rules. Am I forgetting something? Oh, yeah, your fourth achievement star. Here you go. Now hold on tight to it, because we're going to face some tough divisibility rules now. Our next stop, divisibility rules of 4 and 8. We're going to need some division action for this. Don't worry, the division won't take too much of your time. Here comes the rules for 4. With numbers with 3 or more digits, if the last 2 digits are a number that is divisible by 4, the whole number is divisible by 4. For example, we have 352. We don't have to divide the entire number by 4 to see if it's divisible or not. We just need to test it out with the last 2 digits, which is 52. Let's do some quick long division. We need 1 4 to almost reach 5, so 1 should go on top. 5 minus 4 equals 1. We bring 2 down to make 12 and continue. To reach 12, we need exactly 3 4s. So 3 goes to the top. 4 times 3 equals 12. 12 minus 12 equals 0. Check this out. When dividing 52 by 4, we're left with no remainder. So it's safe to say that 352 is divisible by 4. Alright, now how about the divisibility rules for 8? Since 8 equals 2 times 4, we can figure out that if a number is divisible by 8, it should follow the same divisibility rules of 2 and 4. That means there are two ways to figure this out. Method 1, you divide the number by 4 to see if the quotient is an even number. Method 2, divide the number by 2 and check if the quotient is divisible by 4. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, let me break it down a little further. Dividing by 8 is like dividing by 4, then taking the quotient and continuing to divide by 2. Or vice versa, you can divide by 2 first, then 4. Time to test your knowledge. Can you tell which number is divisible by 8? Feel free to pause the video here. Just at a glance, we can tell that both numbers are divisible by 4. Why? Because 216 ends with 16, and 504 ends with 04. 16 and 4 are 4's multiples. So 216 and 504 meet the conditions of 4's divisibility rules. But are they divisible by 8? Let's check out the quotient when we divide both numbers by 4. According to these quotients, after dividing our original numbers, 54 is an even number, and that means 216 is divisible by 8. But 121 is an odd number, so 504 isn't divisible by 8. The rules for 4 and 8 don't seem so hard now that we know it, right? Since you successfully learned it, here's your final achievement star. Way to go! Ah, look at you. I'm so proud. Now that we've finished the divisibility rules from 1 to 10, let's combine everything and put your new knowledge to the test. Here we have 504, 1,330, and 2,520. Can you tell which number is divisible by all of these numbers? 3, 4, and 10. Pause right here to figure it out for yourself. Alrighty, are you ready to compare answers? First, we can check out 504 together. Would this number be divisible by 3, 4, and 10 simultaneously? Nope, you know why? Because the last digit is 4, not 0, which is the divisibility rule of 10. Since it isn't divisible by 10, we can cross it out. Moving on to 1,330. Okay, this one has a 0 at the end, so it's divisible by 10. But does it meet the condition of 3 and 4's divisibility rules? Oh no, check out its last two digits. 30 is nowhere to be found on 4's times table. So 1,330 is not divisible by 4. And it's not the number we're looking for either. 2,520 is our last chance. It has a 0 at the end, so it's divisible by 10. The last two digits are 20, a multiple of 4, which means 2,520 is divisible by 4. And the sum of its digits? 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 equals 9. Yep, this number is divisible by 3 as well. Finally, we found the number that's divisible by 3, 4, and 10. Well done, team. Another math mystery solved. Whew, but today's lesson was quite long, wasn't it? We covered the divisibility rules for numbers 1 to 10. It's hard to remember all of these in one sitting, so you can make a game out of it. Practice with every number you encounter in real life. When you see a number, try to spot all of its characteristics and find out what divisibility rules it follows. And don't forget to check out our other lessons in the meantime. So stay tuned for our next video to learn all about it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and not miss out on any of our new content. See you next time!